guys, Christian Havercardman coming back at you with another video today, and yes, you are getting the double upload from me this week because I just could not resist. I had to do my hero test hands. I gave you the deck profile earlier this week. If you want to check that out, be sure to go check it out right up here in the info card on the top right, or the link will be down in the description if you prefer not to use the cards. So be sure to go give that a shout. So today I'm going to be showing you going first and going second combo tutorial, and then just also show you a couple of test hands so you can see how reliable and how consistent this deck can actually really be. So let's go ahead and get into today's combo here. Okay, so for the purposes of this combo tutorial, this is going to be the going first combo first, just because that makes sense, obviously. And so we're just going to say that we open up with the Vision Hero Vion, the Stratos, and the Gizmek Yada. Well, and the Vion doesn't really matter, just needs to be any hero monster to pitch for Ferris, so that part doesn't even really matter that much. And then just 2 random cards, doesn't matter. So this is kind of a 3-card combo, but it's more consistent 3-card combo just because that 3rd card, once again, is generic, as long as it's a hero monster, or it can even be like an emergency call, or a hero lives, or a Rhoda, you know, whatever you name it. As long as it gives you access to a hero monster, that's all that matters. So let's go ahead and get into this. So we're going to normal summon the Stratos, and I know this is upside down, but I'm probably just going to flip it for you guys, so it might look really weird, but we're just going to go with it. So Stratos, we will use him to end up searching for the Ferris there. That took me a little second to find. So then now we can tribute off our Stratos to special summon our Gizmek Yada. Well, actually, no, I lied. I was incorrect. The Stratos is not supposed to search the Ferris. Very sorry about that. The Stratos actually needs to search the Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier. I forgot about this step. I'm very sorry about that. So the Stratos searches the Liquid Soldier, and then we use the Gizmek Yada to tribute the Stratos, special summon the Gizmek Yada. Then we'll use the Gizmek Yada's effect to be able to normal summon an additional time, so we'll normal summon our Liquid Soldier. This will allow us to special summon back out to the field our Stratos, which will then let us get another search. And now keep in mind, we are locked into warrior monsters thanks to Gizmek Yada's effect, since we tributed off Stratos, who is a warrior monster. That means we can only summon warrior monsters for the rest of the turn. So we have the Ferris in hand, and we still have that extra hero. We're going to pitch the extra hero to go into the Vision Hero Ferris. This will pull out from our deck to our spell and trap card zone the Vision Hero Increase. Once we get the Increase, we can now tribute the Ferris to then pull out, to special summon our Increase as well as the Vion. Now at this point, you could either go Shadow Mist or Malicious. When you search, or when you use your Vion, the best target for this current point in time is going to be the Malicious, just because we can go into our Cross Crusader and pull out the Malicious from Graveyard and use it for another search, and it keeps us a body in field. So we're going to go ahead and use our Vion first to banish the Ferris, or we can do the other hero monster we sent for the Ferris to the Graveyard, it doesn't matter. So now we can search for the Polymerization. It's very important we have the Polymerization in hand. So now we will go ahead and link together our Increase and our Vion, so that now we can pull out the extra hero Cross Crusader. This will special summon back our Malicious, but he's not going to stay for very long, because then we're going to use the Cross Crusader's effect here to tribute off the Malicious and search our deck for a hero monster. So at this point, we have a few different options we can go into here. We're probably going to go for the extension play, so we're actually going to search for the Shadow Mist, because we have the Polymerization in hand, and now this means that we can activate the Polymerization to fuse together our Liquid Soldier and our Shadow Mist. So we did already use one of Liquid Soldier's effects this turn, so we're not able to use his effect to draw 2 and discard 1. That is the only sad thing, but for this combo to work, it's kind of a necessary evil. So then now, we will pull out the Sunriser. We will get 2 trigger effects on our chain. We're probably actually going to have Sunriser be chain 1 and Shadow Mist be chain 2, because we can get other hero searches, so if the Shadow Mist gets hit, it's fine. So then the Shadow Mist will allow us to search for a hero monster, and in this case, we're probably going to search for Plasma. We could go for the Honest Neost if you want to have like the battle protection, but I like having the Plasma just because it's extra evilness. So then now our Sunriser will go off, and we can search our deck for the Miracle Fusion. So now with the Miracle Fusion, we can go and activate that, banish from our graveyard here the Liquid Soldier and whatever you want to, like the Shadow Mist, it doesn't matter. And if you want to, you could have used your Sunriser and pad it over here, so that then you could just banish your Malicious from the graveyard to special summon out the second one. If you wanted to do this first before summoning the Absolute Zero, it'd probably be like the better play, because then you get the Malicious out, and then you can just link it and then Cross Crusader off. to go into your extra hero Wonder Driver, which is still a warrior. Just remember, you can't go into your Infernal Devicer because it is a fiend. Otherwise, I probably would have. So then now we can do that. So then when we activate the Miracle Fusion, we banish the 2 monsters for our Absolute Zero summon. We can use our Wonder Driver to then set back probably a Polymerization, just because now in this case we can actually use the Polymerization to use the Stratos and the Gizmek Yata, and then that will allow us to go into an Elemental Hero, the Shining, which is good. So I mean, there was more searches and stuff you could do out of this deck if you really wanted to, but from here, so I mean, you got 2 extra cards in your hand. You could potentially extend off of that. Once again, if you wanted to, you could have searched for the Honest Neos instead of the Plasma, which is totally fine. Or if you had an emergency call, you could have searched for the Honest Neos that way, and then still search for the Plasma and had both. But at this point, I mean, you've got a decent little board set up. You have 2 different attributes on field technically, so that would give you an extra 400 attack points, which I mean isn't the greatest, but once again, it's not the worst. But and then your Shining, actually, since he has 2 different elemental hero monsters banished, you gains an extra 600 attack, so that's good there. But I mean, once again, if you had the extra extension, so like if you somehow had like the Parallel World Fusion, which is one of the random cards I threw in my hand, if you had that, you can use that to extend, because I believe that'll summon 1 elemental hero monster. That's it for this combo. We'll go ahead and try out another one here really quick for you. I'll try to be quicker with this one, since the first one took a little while. So let's go ahead and clean up, and we'll be right back for the next one. Alrighty, so here is our second combo tutorial. This one just involves a single Stratos and any other hero monster, and I mean, this still works even if it's a Ferris. So, and then just your 3 random cards, which we're just gonna kind of ignore. So once again, normal summon the Stratos like always. Pray doesn't get ashed, or you have a Called by the Grave in hand. And then you'll be able to search now for your Ferris, since you're most likely not going to have that in hand since it's only a 1-of. And then now you can use your Ferris to pitch the other hero monster in your hand to the graveyard, special summon itself, bring the Increase out from the deck to then put it in your Spell and Trap card zone, which will then allow you to tribute the Ferris, special summon it back out. So it's kind of similar shenanigans to last time. The Gizmek Yata just really provides for extra extension, but this one can even do some more for us. So we'll go ahead and see what that does. So we'll use the Vion now. When it's special summoned, send the Malicious to graveyard, and then we can also use its other effect while we're here to banish the Ferris and search for the Polymerization. So now from here, we can link off our Increase and our Vion. I always like to keep the Stratos because he's a wind monster and he's the only wind monster of the deck, so it makes it easier to go into Sunriser. So we'll link those 2 together, and since we have not used the Gizmek Yata, we can go into the Infernal Devicer. The Infernal Devicer, we will now target the Mariner and reveal that to our opponent, so that now we can search out from our deck to our hand the Bubble Man, and the Avion. Sorry about that, that just kind of flung out of me. So we get those 2. We already have the Polymerization in hand. So then now we can activate that, sending our Bubble Man and Avion to the graveyard, which will allow us to bring out the Elemental Hero Sunriser. Sunriser will let us search for Miracle Fusion, which is great. And now, okay, so the big sad thing is that Infernal Devicer is not a warrior monster, so we actually can't use it to go into our Wonder... Or actually, no, we can use it to go into our Wonder Driver. It does say 2 hero monsters. I was thinking of Cross Crusader. My apologies. Cross Crusader's 2 warriors. So then from this point, we can use the Stratos and the Infernal Devicer to link off into our Wonder Driver. So we can activate Miracle Fusion to be able to banish the Avion and Bubble Man from our grave. Since, I mean, the Liquid Soldier was just an assumption. That was just what I threw in my hand. So now we can go into our Absolute Zero. So at this point, we have 2 different monsters on our field. And I guess we could assume that this was going second hand, because this would probably work better for going second place. We'll have the extra card in our hand, which won't even matter. So yeah, from here on out, now at this point, it really relies on like what extenders you have in your hand. If you wanted to, so if you're going second, you could actually just honestly, so you'd special some of the Absolute Zero onto the Wonder Driver, of course. I'm sorry about that, I kind of goofed there. So you'd set the Miracle Fusion back, because that would make more sense than the Polymerization, to be honest. So then we'll activate the Miracle Fusion, so now we can banish from graveyard again. And in this case, we'll just go ahead and banish the Stratos and Infernal Devicer, because that will get us another Sunriser, meaning that no matter what hero monster they attack, we can get a pop. So that'll be fine, or no matter what hero monster attacks, or is attacked, I should say. So then we got this. And now from here, we can actually link off our Extra Hero Wonder Driver and our Absolute Zero to pull out the Extra Hero Cross Crusader. Cross Crusader will then allow us to summon the Malicious from Graveyard, tribute it off to search, and our opponents have no monsters left on field, by the way, at this point. So then now we can search for the Honest Neos. I mean, unless they had something that was unaffected, of course, which, I mean, that's sad, but still. So we have the Honest Neos in hand. We can banish that Malicious from Graveyard if we really want to, just to get another Malicious out on field. And I mean, if you had the Dread Decimator in your extra deck, you could at this point use it, just because you can link together your Malicious and your Cross Crusader for it, but it's really not that big of a deal. So we are locked into heroes for the turn because of the Cross Crusader, and I believe there was another monster that did as well, which is fine. That's not a huge deal for us, not a deal breaker. I mean, we can't go into the Predaplant Verte Anaconda, which is totally okay. But if we had like another extender in our hand, it'd be super easy. Like, say, since we have Malicious and Cross Crusader, they're both darks. If, for instance, we did happen to draw the Super Polymerization, we can then activate that, discard a card, and be able to, you know, Super Poly away into the Starving Venom, or, you know, whatever we want to. And if we had other extenders in hand, we could easily go off more plays from here. This is just like the bare bones base board of what you could actually play and summon just off of 2 cards. Every other card in your hand at that point is just an extender or something to disrupt your opponent, so you can make sure your plays go off like normal. So this deck has, obviously, like you can see, a lot of power, and you don't need Malicious Bane to play this. Like, yeah, sure, Malicious Bane is really good because it makes it easier to board wipe your opponent, no TK. But at the same time, as long as you got Absolute Zero, you can still get rid of those monsters. You don't need Malicious Bane. Malicious Bane is just good because of the fact that it can't be destroyed by cards, or by battle, or by card effects. So if you're not willing to spend the $200 for the Industrial Gold and the Malicious Bane, don't even worry about it. Just play this build. It's still fairly expensive because, well, the Sunriser are okay. So the Sunriser's down to like $3. Liquid Soldier, when I first bought him, was $50. He's down to $25 now, and you only need the one of them in the deck. Your other expensive cards are your Increase and your Ferris. So, I mean, like, for the most part, this deck really isn't that expensive. You're probably going to be spending around, like, $150, $200 for it, maybe. And that's, like, if you're willing to go all out with this. You don't have to go, like, super hardcore. For the most part, these are all fairly cheap staples that you don't need to worry about breaking the bank for. And that is why I love this hero build, because it is consistent, it is deadly, and it is cheap for the price, or for, like, most meta decks nowadays. So that is why I absolutely love heroes. I hope you guys enjoyed this combo tutorial today. I'll just do a quick test hand for you just so you can see what the opening hands actually normally look like for this deck, so you can see how consistent it really is to get these plays that I've just shown you, because it is fairly good at doing that. I'm very impressed with how well this deck works, especially with all the one-offs we have, like our Ferris and the Increase and, you know, all those. So let's go ahead. I'm just shuffling up here. We'll see what we get. So top 5 cards. We have Shadow Mist, Miracle Fusion, Liquid Soldier, Mass Change, and Called by the Grave. So this is actually a really good hand because then you'd be able to use your Shadow Mist, go into the Mass Change, search whatever hero monster you want, and then you have a Dark Law. So, I mean, yeah, you have to use your normal summon for the Shadow Mist, but you can still go for the Ferris, dump the Liquid Soldier, pull out your Vion combo, and you'd still have a pretty good turn there, especially since you got that Miracle Fusion. That'll give you extra extension for more fusion plays. So, really love this deck. So that's going first hand. I'll just give you another test hand just so you can see, once again, how easy it is for this deck to make plays, because it is actually, once again, really consistent at doing this. So there's Stratos, Miracle Fusion, Dark Ruler No More, Instant Fusion, and Miracle Fusion. So we ended up drawing both Miracle Fusions, which is fine. And then if it's going second hand, so we draw the Increase. So that does make this a little bit of a brick hand, but at the same time, it's still playable. You can use your Stratos, you know, go into whatever search you wanted to. You could go with the Ferris, but it's not going to do you much good. It's just going to get you an extra body on field. So there's different plays you can go into there, but you do have the Instant Fusion, so you can go into a Link 2 play. That does make that pretty good. So you've got a few different options. So this hand, it wasn't the best, but either way, you can see that this deck can still make plays with pretty much any hand that it has, and it doesn't even really matter that much. This deck can just do whatever it wants to. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed this little bit longer combo tutorial. I'm working on getting faster at these. I'm getting myself back into the flow of the game, and I'm finally starting to like learn everything and get everything down pat. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I really enjoy all your support. I cannot believe that this this early on into the channel, we're already over 100 subscribers, and you guys are just killing it with your support each and every day. I love each and every single one of you. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you guys all in the next video. Remember to have fun and make your move. Peace out.
I'm a love giver.